Do you mind if I speak with the Arcturian Council?
Yep, don't mind
And
at all.
I was just gonna, before we start, real quick, I might make a video out of this, so I just wanted to say, you haven't heard any of these questions beforehand, right?
No.
Okay, yeah, just thank you.
Greetings. Well, the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with you.
Hello.
Hello.
I was thinking about doing an introductory video for this one. So I guess first off, would you mind explaining who you are?
Yes, we are a collective of non-physical beings who have ascended into a ninth dimensional frequency range from within the Arcturian star system. We were incarnate in our system up until the completion of that journey when we transitioned from the seventh dimension through the eighth, which is a transitory dimension, and into the ninth, where we have existed as a collective of non-physical entities ever since. We see ourselves more as a collective than as a group of individuals, however. Now, we bring forth messages to help humanity and other beings throughout the galaxy through channels like this one, but we also connect directly with individuals through the astral traveling that you do at night when you are asleep, and we also are able to send energy to entire species of beings living on worlds when they are asking for help and healing. We see ourselves as spiritual teachers and masters, as we have done what you are doing right now, and we seek to help you make the process easier and more joyous.
What does it mean to ascend?
It means that the consciousness becomes less attached to a particular idea of itself. So the human being has an idea that you are born into a physical body and that you exist for a time period of somewhere between 80 years and 90 years, usually at the most. And then you perish and you go to a non-physical experience, or you cease to exist. That's the idea the consciousness has. Now, as you see yourself as being instead both non-physical and physical at the same time, and that the physical body is just an illusion that you're creating for yourself, and as you drop all of the other attachments that you have to the physical realm, being right, being better than other people, being the richest and the most powerful, and you see yourself more as a part of a collective of humans that are all part of the same one source energy being. That whole way of looking at yourself and others raises the vibration of your consciousness and allows you to experience a different realm. The fifth dimension that you're ascending into is a different realm in terms of the frequency. And the higher frequency that you ascend into means that you have a lighter version of yourself. You're dealing with a lighter version of your body and of other physical matter that you encounter, so that everything becomes easier for you to transform. Now, there's also an easier manifestation process. It's faster because there's less density and there's less of an experience of time as you ascend.
Do extraterrestrials exist, and are they good or bad?
Extraterrestrials do exist, and they are both good and bad. There are extraterrestrials that are very good, there are extraterrestrials that are very bad, and there are extraterrestrials that are like most humans, where sometimes you feel like you do a good thing and sometimes you feel like you do a bad thing, and hopefully you learn from the times that you do something that you would consider to be bad or harmful to others. And so everything exists that you can imagine, all ends of the spectrum and everything in between, because this is a very large universe filled with possibilities.
So you would also say that there's an afterlife?
There's a continuation of life. Life always continues beyond any expression. So as you're in your physical expression now, if you were to die, you would still experience yourself just without a body.
Respectfully, why should a person believe your what you're saying?
Well, the truth is, it doesn't matter to us whether you believe or not. So we're not trying to convert anyone. We're not trying to get anyone to do anything or follow any rules that we have set out. We're not trying to start a religion here. We're just offering a perspective, and if that perspective resonates with a person, then they're going to want to hear more from us. They're going to want to connect to us themselves. And if this doesn't resonate, if a person is thinking to themselves, this is fake or they aren't real, then they will go and find their teaching somewhere else. But this is really about offering a spiritual teaching that people can follow if they choose to, but that we are not saying anyone has to.
And I've been watching and reading a lot of your material, and I really appreciate what you guys put out.
Well, we are in appreciation of your wonderful feedback.
Do angels and fairies and other similar entities exist?
Yes, all of the beings that humans have in their imaginations or believe are in fact real and more. So the mind has certain capabilities in terms of what you're able to imagine. And then there are the things that the mind cannot imagine but do exist. Some of what you've come to put in your fairy tales and in your myths are beings that previously existed on Earth with you. Some have ascended into higher dimensional states and ranges of frequency, like the fairies, the mermaids, the dragons, unicorns, etc. And angels have always existed. They are a part of your team. They look after you. They're your spirit guides. They're the ones who answer prayers for those who are in need, and they are also teachers and healers and guides.
Could you talk a little bit about the ascended masters like Jesus, Buddha, etc.?
They took a different path than most people who incarnate on Earth will descend through the dimensions to the third dimensional Earth experience, and now you're in the fourth dimensional Earth experience. So beings that have been born since December 21st, 2012 have been born into the fourth dimension, but most of you who are on the planet now were born into the third dimension, and so were Yeshua, Buddha, Saint Germain, Melchizedek, and the other ascended masters that you know about. They chose to come all the way from the 12th dimension into physical form, skipping over all of the other dimensions, all star systems along the way, just to give you all some sense of who you are. So they were able to incarnate without karma, without any of the baggage that you would normally have picked up along a descension path, and they were able to offer their teachings then to humanity and to bring about a higher level of consciousness there on Earth, so that people would be able to, again, choose whether what they were offering resonated or not. And then they ascended back into the 12th dimension, where they still sit today and look after you, and again answer prayers and connect with individuals for channeling like this, and for healing, and for whatever the person might need.
Is it true that the Earth is alive? And are there beings inside the Earth that exist?
Yes, the Earth is a living being. The Earth has a consciousness. The Earth, in a lot of ways, is like a physical expression of a collective, such as the collective that we are. The Earth has a higher consciousness and operates from that higher consciousness of love and inclusiveness forgiveness, compassion, everything that you would want from a mother. And yes, there are inner earth beings that are human, that decided that they wanted to live underground and start a new society there. And then there are inner earth beings that have come from outside of your solar system and that have lived among you as ETs for a very, very long time. They have been able to evolve their consciousness while living on your world or in your world.
So in the higher dimensions, I believe I've read that time is a little bit different compared to the Earth.
Yes, well, there really is no need for the concept of linear time. We don't need to keep track of time. We don't need calendars, watches, clocks, any of that, because we know that we will be where we need to be when we need to be there because of our vibration. So we don't rely on appointments to get together. And where we are in a non-physical dimension, of course, there's no day or night, there's no sunrise and sunset. So there's no tracking of time, there's no planet for that to occur that would be spinning and rotating around a star. But when you do ascend to the fifth dimension, you will see time more as time-space. You will see it as a location in space where you can go, such as your concept of time travel.
Could you describe the beginning of the universe? I guess what we would term the Big Bang theory.
Yes. Well, from a more metaphysical concept of it, it was an idea within Source that sprouted forth from that knowing that there was a possibility for more. So Source had this understanding that Source could know itself more completely through the putting out there of these universes that you get to incarnate in and traverse through the different dimensions. And so that's how your universe and all universes were born. It was just through a thought that Source had about more of the expression of itself and the experience of itself. And then mechanically, in terms of the physical, it all began with a single burst of atomic particles into all directions, and the traveling of those particles out in all directions expanded and expanded and expanded and created for more possibilities, and that expansion continues.
Is there anything else that you would like to say in this video?
We are very pleased to have an opportunity always to share our perspective, our light, and our love, and we invite anyone and everyone who is experiencing this conversation to feel for our vibration and to feel within yourselves for whether who and what we are resonates with you. And if we do not, we want you to know that there are plenty of others out there who you can benefit from the presence of and the channeling of, and we are just one of many choices that are out there for you. But the fact that you're looking, the fact that you're out there searching for something more, means that you are on a path of awakening, and we want to congratulate all of you on that, because being awake is the only way to be right now if you're going to truly enjoy your life there on Earth.
Thank you. I guess with the small amount of time left, would you mind saying something about the coronavirus?
Well, as we mentioned in our latest transmission, the positive aspect of it is that it has gotten people to reach out more, to connect to the idea that they have of a higher power, of angelic beings, beings like ourselves that can help and that can offer healing. And it has expanded your sense of self in that you recognize that you're part of a world community, a global community, that you have compassion for people that you have never met and will never meet, has brought humanity's overall consciousness level to a higher frequency. And for all of that, it has served you very well, and it will continue to serve you in getting you to face your fears and your anxieties about death and about financial collapse. But we do see that this is small in comparison to the type of catastrophe that you could have chosen for yourselves in order to bring yourselves into this higher level of consciousness.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. Ooh, hey.
Hello. Thank you very much, Daniel. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Matt. Take
Take
care.
care.
Yep. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.